not getting any activity.
That's cool. I think that's gold.
Yeah.
No, that was perfect. Thank you guys for touching on those, and we're going to jump into those. It's a perfect segue, but to also highlight those points. So if you heard what they talked about, they said right now in this market, and running a CMA changes based on what's happening in the market. Okay, so in this particular market, what Ken talked about, actives are important to know because there's not a lot of inventory first, right? And we have to know what's going on today. So even a sold property may not be the proper story. Because as Ken also talked about, the interest rates could have been different at the time that property was listed. The activity could have been different. The competition could have been different. The buyer confidence could have been different. So we may have saw more activity last month for a particular property at a certain price, where this month it's changed. And we got to get out in front of that, meaning we got to have a lower price to stimulate the right type of activity. Okay. So it is in how you present it in your listing presentation. In my opinion, when you're speaking about the market, it's probably going to be the separator between you and everybody else that you're competing against. Because as well as you can articulate it and talk about what's going on today and how to strategically price their home to make sure that they get the results, not just the offers coming in, but the showings. If we're not having showings, that means there's not enough desirability on this particular property based on its current price. There's only two ways to improve the desirability. The desirability is the value. So you have to differentiate between price, the list price, what a seller picks to list their home, versus value. What's value? What a buyer's willing to pay, their desirability. So you have to create buzz on a property. How do I increase the buzz? How do I increase the exposure? It's based on the price. If it's at a lower price, if you have two homes on the market, exact same specs, but one's priced $20,000 less, where are the buyers going to go? To the one that's lower. And you have to use this example as you're speaking to sellers, right? Now, if you have both at the exact same, or both at the exact same price, but one's standard and one has all the upgrades, which one are the buyers going to go towards? The one with all the upgrades. So the only way, and you ask the seller this, are you willing to improve your property more or do more to your home to increase the desirability? They're going to say, no, I don't want to spend any more money. Say, that's great. So we need to price it accordingly. And just remember, the list price does not equal the sold price. List price means, are we getting enough action in this property? Are we getting the showings? If we're not getting the showings, we need to get in front of this. And you don't need to wait 42 days. You can do that. For me, I've done it in 4 days. And I've had other top agents tell me when I used to work at the Wood Ranch, as it, but doesn't that make you look wrong? I was like, it's not about me. It's not about what we started at. It's about, you have to pay. It's like a test, right? It's a science experiment, and their property is the experiment. But if you control certain things, you can tell, okay, we need to adjust this. We need to do this to increase more value, more desirability. And these conversations are going to be much more common, and we have to lead. We can't walk on eggshells and be afraid to disappoint them. And they will come back and say things like, well, we started at this price. Now we're down $60,000. Now we're down $20,000. You're not down anything. That was the list price, right? We're not down.
Brandon,
you can't lose something you don't have. Go ahead.
Brandon, there's another point that's really, really crucial that we're leaving out.
Yep.
I would advise that you call the pending sales that are your comps and ask the agent what kind of activity they have or have had on it. That's going to be an indicator, a big indicator of what's going on in the current market, not the comps. They're going to tell you, oh my God, I had 10 showings and I got offers coming in that are way higher, or I haven't had anything and we're taking a real hit. Or they're going to bring out specifics about the home, why it's sold for such, for a lower amount, or why it's going to command a higher price, and it's going to give you the information to properly list your home.
I think it goes like active is your competition, pending is what an offer got, right? That price got an offer. You have you have to verify, hey, where are we? How's the offers? And there's only one way you can do that, right? Can call the listing office or listing agent, right? Close is what you're actually closing at, and then expired or canceled is it was probably priced too high. What not to do? The price did not match the value of the home. Right? The price did not match the home.
You guys are totally in sync with what I have written down in terms of the next steps of what we're going to illustrate, and it's perfect. I appreciate you both offering that. I know I got something from the audience here, but just to confirm what Ken said, pending is the most important phone calls to make. Pending and under contract, period. That gives you the truest pulse of what's happening real time today. And sellers or listing agents will be willing to help you out as long as you give them something and say, hey, I got a property coming up. Got a property coming up in the neighborhood. There's no inventory. You don't think they're interested in what you got coming up? You don't think they may have a buyer that they potentially could put into your property, or at least seem like they're in the know with the neighborhood of what's happening? They want to know. That's like putting candy in front of a baby, right? They want it. So you start with, I got a property coming up, right? It's going to be on this street. Sometimes I'll give them the street name. And then I say, I see that your home went under contract in 14 days. It looked like you priced it based on the comps. It looked like you priced it quite a bit under value. And I'm going to use this example right here. So this property for 2507 Pepperwood, these are comps and these are real conversations that I had with these agents. So the comps, the RVM, if you pull up RPR, which is one of the tools that we're going to use for this particular property, it shows it over $1 million, like 1.1 for this property. It's a little over 2,000 square feet, 2154 square feet, 4-bedroom, 2-bath, built in 1978. It's got an 8,700 square foot lot. Okay. That's not this one here. That's the subject property. Okay. So I did exactly what Ken talked about and I called the pending. So this one's at 998. And so let's look at the details. And this is actually the history. You can check the history when you want to use a good example. And so what I'll do is I'll print out the history and the details of a good example of this is what we want to do versus a bad example. This is what we don't want to do. Okay. I'll circle the commission. I'll highlight the starting price, and then I'm going to show, and I'll go to history and go down the days on market. So this one took 12 days before the status changed. So it took 12 days listed at 998. And the question, the conversation I had with this agent was, why did you price it under $1 million? I see the comps around $1,060,000, $1,070,000. And she said, you're going to want to talk to this other agent about why you don't want to do that. So I called the other agent. I'm trying to see if I can find it on here. And I don't see it on here right now, but there was another agent. She started at 1.1. She dropped it to $1,039,000 after 30 days. After 2 weeks of the 30 days being at the $1,039,000, then it went into escrow. But she's chasing the market down because she overpriced it. And these sellers remember 1.1 comps in this neighborhood. They remember 1.2. They remember when the rates were really low and they were going out super high. So we have to stress to them that just like what this gal on Mansfield did, this agent did, and I called her up, and you can see the name and recognize she does a lot of business here. She said that's why they priced it. And I said, so how'd you do? She said, we got a little over $1 million. She didn't give me the exact number, but we got a little over $1 million, pricing it under $1 million. And she's like, and we were shocked. We thought we were going to get like 5, 10, 15 offers on this thing. We got like 2. The market's changed. What's happening today is different. Doesn't mean it's going to be like this forever. Doesn't mean that we're crashing and burning and this is going to be a horrible market come January, February. But what it means is right now, if you list a home, and I'm not saying to wait till January, February, because nobody knows. And that's what I tell sellers, because I'm always overcoming the objection that they don't want to list right now. They want to wait for this. They want to wait for that. They want to wait for this. We know what's happening today. We don't know what's happening tomorrow. And what we do know is there's little competition right now. But even with the little competition, buyers are still hesitant in pulling the trigger. And we have to be real with our sellers up front so they know we know our stuff. And we future pace them. So when there are only 2 showings, we're good to go. Okay. Does that all make sense? Were you going to say something? Yes, go ahead.
Those of you who don't know me, I'm from Arizona. I've been there a long time and new here. But because the market has shifted, right? There's a tool in MLS, and I don't know if you all use it here or not, but I am a big, big fan. And it's called range pricing. Do you use it?
No.
Okay, well, let me tell you what it is because it may help you in this.
Okay.
So range pricing is in MLS says your list price. So let's just say, I believe the house should be at $950,000, right?
Uh-huh.
The seller says, yeah, but I think it's going to sell for $1,025,000. Great. Range pricing says that you can show the list price as $1,025,000 if you want, or $1 million or $975,000.
Right.
But underneath that, it says the range. The range would be $950,000 to $1,025,000. It could be $2 million. The upside of the range doesn't matter. What matters is the lowest end of the range, because because you want the most eyes on it, right?
Right.
A buyer searching, which means I can afford as a buyer, I can afford 2 million, but I only want to spend 1.
Right.
If my house is priced at $1,025,000,
You don't see it.
my buyer, me, I didn't see it, right? But if the range is 950, for example, everybody searching up to 950 saw it. If they're searching over it, they see it.
That's great.
Then what you do is, in the first line of your agent remarks to the public, I do 2 asterisks, and it says in all caps, range priced $950,000 to $1,025,000.
Right.
Asterisk, asterisk, depending on terms, period. Now you get to go to your seller and say, here's what we're going to do. Going to get the most eyes on it. This is strictly a marketing tool. But if you don't get what you want in the upfront, we just counter. You're not bound to take $950.
Right.
You're not bound. So what you've done is you've now allowed them to do this.
That's great.
Okay. It is a tool you all aren't using. It does, and it's really important that you explain it to your sellers. This is a marketing tool that we have to avoid price reductions all the time.
Right.
Okay. You get to avoid that.
That's great.
So I'd be happy to show you how to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. I explained that to an agent one time here, and she went, what?
Right.
Her guy was at 1.4. She said, we need to be at 1.1. I said, honey, you need to range price it.
Right.
She said, what?
So there is a box in the
I
MLS
know.
that you can add. So it's in there, but
It
it's
is
not,
in
it's
there.
not utilized here in
It's-
Ventura County.
Okay, so let me help you, because I'm gonna tell you right now,
Right.
you will be glad you did. You
That's
will
awesome.
start having people see it that are not seeing it now.
That's great. Thank you for
Okay.
sharing that.
You're welcome.
No, that was awesome.
It'll help.
Appreciate you sharing that. So that's great. So now I'm going to do what we talked about on here in terms of just making sure you know how to run a search, okay? And how to run comps and where we start. So typically what I'll start with is the tax information, okay? The reason why I want to do that is I want to try to get proper square footage, bedrooms. This could be inaccurate, but we're just going to use this example. Actually, let's put the example. No, I don't know Paso Robles, so I apologize about that. We'll stick with this one. So 2507 Pepperwood, and you start going in. So you can pull the tax data, even if it's not previously listed in the MLS, which this is the first time this home is being sold. So you can't find it if you run an address search, it won't pop up. But if you go to Realist Tax Records, you're going to get this. From here, you have your bedrooms, baths, the original price they bought it at, square footage, and the lot size. 2154, 8,787, and then the year built 1978. Okay, so that's the data that I'm going to use as I'm running my search. So I'll start. I already have everything ran here, but I'll show you how I do it. So after doing that, then I'm going to run a quick search. So on the quick search, you do this instead of map search for those of you using the MLS. If you map, then I'm going to go to this little thumbtack here. Type in the address. You want to do it this way. For whatever reason, the map search doesn't do it as well as this on the quick search. Type in Camarillo, hit locate. It says put a zip, 93010. So to quick search, then I went to that thumbtack right there. Okay. Now I hit use location. All right. So the easiest way is a radius search. 1 mile radius, hit create radius. And now I got a 1 mile radius around the property. Anybody who knows Camarillo knows this is the Heights. This is Central Camarillo. So it's a little bit different. So actually in this situation, because I know the area, I'm going to get rid of this and I'm going to draw for the Heights. I'm going to just draw over this area here. Okay. And I'm just grabbing properties that are in the Heights. I probably should have went a little further, and I'm going to get rid of the circle. So now all I'm running a search is in that particular neighborhood. From there, we're going to go to, so we have active, And these are the active homes that we're up against. So if that's all I'm looking to start with, I'll do the list of actives as I'm trying to figure out pricing. Then I'm going to go over here and do price descending because I want to see the highest to lowest. All right. Square footage wise, as you see, the 3,700 square feet, you got one that's 1,600 square feet at 1.2 million. Look how many days on the market, 170. So I may print that out as an example. This is why you don't want to overprice your home. Okay. And then I'll click on it. And as I use the bad example, as JP talked about earlier, we go to the detail. Then I'm going to hit history. And I'm going to print this out with the history and show how long it's been on the market. So it's been on from 0 to 82 days. They started at 1.3, dropped it to 1.2, 82 days. So then it's been on, they dropped it down to 1.2 for 170 days on the market. So that may be a good one to write a low offer on. Okay. That may be a good one for buyers to show because they're not getting any kind of action on it. So I'm going to use an example of a bad situation and show, do not do this. Then I'm going to show the good situation. So as I go back to this list, I will edit it because I want to clean it up some. And I'm going to get down, so I'm going to narrow it down. If I got a decent amount of comps, I'm going to go to at least 3 bedrooms. I'll leave the baths open, but more importantly, the square footage. I don't want anything under 1,900 to pop up. So we're at 1,900 square feet. And then, but I don't want those 3,000 square foot homes either. So I'm going to just go to 2,500. Okay. So now if you look at my total, I'm at 2 that I'm up against. So these are the 2 I'm currently competing against. 1,070,000, a new one just came on at 915 on Heron Court. So that's a low price right here that now is competition because we took an extra couple weeks. Now we're up against this guy or gal. Be correct here. Okay. 6 days on the market. And we have, so this one just popped on Heron Court. And if you look on that map, it's not too far from where we're at in the Heights there. Okay. So that one's priced really low that we're up against. So we know those are the 2 comps that we're up against. Let me go back to the edit search. So now I'm going to add under contract and pending. These are the ones you want to have conversations with, as we talked about before. We're going to reach out to them. So you see one right here, Corte Castano. That one's at $999. They actually started higher at price, around $1,050,000, and it sat, and then they dropped it to right under $1 million. And what do you know? It's an escrow. Okay, so that's a good example. Then you got one on Mansfield, $998. They started at that price, took 12 days, they got it under contract. This is the new one at $915 here. And then you see one sitting at $1,070,000 on Calle Portilla. Look how many days on the market. Potentially overpriced, right? 19 days on the market, and they actually have contract days on the market 79. So it's actually been on. So similar to what Ken had suggested, where you cancel it and you put it back on the market, that's what they did. Look, 60 days on the market, got nothing at $1,070,000. So they thought, let's do the same thing again and just start it over at the same price. 19 days later, still nothing, right? So almost 80 days on the market at $1,070,000. And the specs on this home, if you look at it, it's a nice looking property. So look, beautiful house. Inside's little, I mean, you got some updates, but spacious. Some of you probably seen this property, knowing this office here. We're all working. So have you guys seen inside it? What do you think in terms of its condition? Three-car garage, but think last year, if this home was listed at $1,070,000, what do you think? And in a heartbeat, and went over, right? Even in its current condition. Different type of market. That's what we have to educate people and talk about the past to where it is and where it's heading, because it's not always going to be that way. And they more than likely don't want to spend money in improving the home or repainting it or redoing flooring or doing any of that, because now you don't know how much money you're going to spend and what you're going to actually get back, right? It could make the difference, but more importantly, what should they do? Drop the price. No, not the best photos either. So need to hire Leslie, and Leslie will get it done for you. Okay. So, okay. So we did the active, the under contract, the pending, and then the closed. The closed are still important to use these comps, right? It's important to know it. But with that being said, the most important is the under contract, those conversations in terms of pricing. Any questions about that? As you see for closed, look, 1.21, 2,100 square feet, but that closed in June. Then you got the other one closed at 1.2. That was in October. So that one could convince you that 1.2 is a good one. This was on Anacapa at 1.2 million. So let's see why they got 1.2. Yep, huge lot. And they also got, look, this is like a barn style setup here. Looks like 2 properties here on this. Yeah, so they got 1.2 different situations. So if you use that as your comp, it's probably going to throw you off, right? Not a good comp to use for this particular property. Does that all make sense? Okay, so the other thing I want to show you real quickly for those of you that don't know, go to detail, go to RPR. RPR is a real quick way to get an estimate. So somebody calls me on the spot, I'm going to have this on my phone anytime I'm showing property. If I'm getting called and they're like, hey, what's my house worth? Or, you know, Zillow's saying this, what do you think? Do you think that's a good price? Then as I'm stalling for time, like I'm doing right now, I'm going to say, yeah, well, you know what? That's interesting. You know, let me ask you why is that important to you? And I'm going to do a little more discovery. And while I'm doing it, I'm going to type this in. So for the Pepperwood property coming up, look what the RVM says, 1.104. So right away, I got an estimate of a value. Look at the RVM confidence, 5 stars. That means they got plenty of comps around there to support a $1.1 million price. Well, if all I did was go off of this tool, I'm probably going to overprice the property. I may make the same mistake that the one at $1,070,000 did. Now, our condition is much better than that property at $1,070,000. Seeing inside, seeing the updates, it's a beautiful home. See, our property right here is located at the top of, this is a Charter Oak Park, which is a beautiful park right there. Then you got, you're coming up Charter Oak Drive as you come up to the home. So beautiful neighborhood, great location, great home, but it's shown it at 1.1. And you have to be careful with this because look, the last close was $1,075,000 on Beverly. 28 days, but the close date was August 15th. That's different than today, okay? Then you look at the other off-market properties that it lists, and you see these ones all closed. Look, 865, that one closed. So I'm trying to look for one that's recent. 116 Viking, that's 2,900 square feet. Again, we're around 2,100, okay? So you can print this out and have that with you. So I'm typically going to do 3 different things up front. First, I order a property profile from the title company. So whoever you use for title, reach out to them, get that property profile. Then after that, then I'm going to do the RPR. That's the second thing. RPR, put it in, print out the comps, make sure I know the highest sales in the neighborhood. Whether I use them or not, I need to know them. I can't not know what the highest comp is in the last 6 months. Those of you who are unfamiliar with appraisals and how it works, they're typically going to pull the last 6 months comps and within a half-mile square radius. The closer the better, the closer the model match, the better. That's typically how they do it. When the market starts changing like this, they will only look back to the last 2 weeks. This happened in 2018. Appraisers are saying they were only looking at comps that sold in the last 2 weeks because they knew it was changing and that buyers were holding off. They're doing the same thing right now, I guarantee it. And you'll see it on the trends part. When they talk about market trends on the appraisal report, if you guys ever get those, look at them, study them, start understanding them, get familiar with them, because it's going to help educate you for a listing as a listing agent, being able to break that down and explain that, okay? So this one shows 1104. After the conversations that I had with the 2 agents, it was very clear to me to put it right under $1 million. We do have solar on it. It's actually got 2, one that's paid off and another one that still owes a little bit of money on it. It's like 15,000, I think, in solar. So we may price it just a little over $1 million, but there's a risk with that. We may do $1.010 million, or do we do the range, right? We do the range, right? And that could be the solution. I may try it out. I may try that out and do the range on this one because I got a solar to negotiate. That's the only reason why, because if we go right at $1 million in this market, in my opinion, it's very uncommon for people to write way over asking price. So you got to be careful where you anchor that property, because if you don't give yourself enough room, you're not going to put the deal together. So you got to be smart about that. So it may be worth gambling a little bit. I don't need to go $1.050 million or $1.070 million, but maybe $1.010 million, $1.020 million is a sweet spot. I don't know. And what I've also seen from history is somebody started a little higher and dropped the price and put it in escrow. So maybe we can do the same, right? Maybe I don't have to go $1.050 million, but maybe I go $1.020 million, see what happens. If nothing's happening in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, then we could potentially drop the price to right under $1 million. So just know that there is no, people have these misconceptions that, oh my gosh, if I drop it to this price, then they're going to lowball me. Then they're going to, no, get to the sweet spot, get to that right price. Okay. That's the key. Yes.
But I agreed with, or my seller agreed with me that if we list it at 515 and after 7 days, we can lower it to the proper price that I came up with. But then I didn't ask my manager over there. I'm like, does that look bad? Like
No.
7 days lowering it? It's not,
It's perfect.
it's 15,000, but it's still properly priced at what it should have been, at.
Right.
But he was in his mind, and I wanted to make him happy. He was justifying it that, because it's fully furnished. I mean, the furniture's from like 1980, but I didn't have it. So I'm like, okay, well, let's try it for 15. But when it's
That
not-
furniture's worth $15,000.
Yeah, but to me, and I didn't, because he's old school and I didn't want to show him what has closed in the last, week. And the two houses next to us, one across the street, they go fast in that area.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to insult him. So but I didn't know if it looks bad on the MLS if you lower something in 7 days.
So first, don't worry about what other people think or what
I know.
they say.
Yeah.
One, congrats on the listing.
Thank you.
And also I saw the photos, beautiful home, beautiful neighborhood. That's, you got a premium property, and premium properties, premium neighborhoods, you can try a little bit. You can bend a little. I'm not saying that we all got to turn into these cutthroat people that don't listen to our clients. We got to listen to them, but it's a team effort. We got to work together. So let's try it for a week. If we don't get the action that we're looking for, let's drop it and let's get there soon, because what's going to happen in the next few weeks? What do we got coming up? Holidays. Do people typically pick up? We got to get there quick. So if we don't have the showings, if we did our open house and we didn't get offers yet, what are we waiting for? Just drop it now. 3 days, 4 days. Hey, I know we said 7 days. Let's do it right now. Because I've followed up with every single person who showed the property over the weekend, talked to all of them, and they just said it's just priced a little too high. So let's jump in front of it and get to where we need to be. Again, you create a multiple, you can bounce back up to that 15K. It can happen. But the key is to get to that sweet spot as quickly as you can. Anything else you wanted to add, or you good? Okay. So for the agents who've been doing this for a while, I hope I'm not putting you to sleep. Is there some good things that we're talking about that are still relevant in terms of information? Anything you'd like to share from your experience, from what you're seeing out there right now when you do this, as you're going through comps with your clients or future pacing them? Are there any little things that you're saying? Yes, Elizabeth? That's a great point. Thank you for sharing that, Elizabeth. It's so crazy. It's so crazy how these little things make a big difference. And I've heard the professionals say, only use the front photo, only use the front photo. And it's like, my front photo sucks on this property, right? It's an attached property, but it's got an awesome pool or community pool that I want highlighted that's going to attract the attention. Yes. Uh-huh.
The first picture should be the best room of the house. And sometimes every room sucks. But you're gonna find, but usually, I mean, it's the kitchen, it's the pool. Whatever the wow factor of that house should be number one. And now I'm really gonna spill it, guys, because I love you. Because Brandon. So typically what I do now is I do the best photos, different rooms on the first 5. And then I do the tour, because if you're showing the front photo, the front door, the hallway, it's unbelievable what people are putting in the beginning. And just for those of you who don't know me, I was a director of marketing before I got into real estate. So this is not like, I spent other people's money creating or figuring out how to do marketing. So the first 5 photos, make those the most interesting, fabulous photos, and then go along your tour. If you have and sometimes more is not better, right? Even if your photographer is giving you those photos, don't have to post it.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
And it took me a while to figure that out. But do the first 5 is the most interesting. And usually what I have on that 5th one or that 6th one is the front of the house. And then I go through the tour.
Right. Perfect.
Yeah, I do.
No, that was perfect. And don't you love it when agents call you and they're frustrated with you? I can't follow these photos in the right order. I need, direction. I'm sure you've had it, right? Had you had anybody call you about that or no? Well, I've had it happen a couple times. I'm just like, really? Like, no, but I appreciate you sharing it because I've gone back to the old school way and it sucks. It's not good because you're showing 3 front photos. Now it's the door. This is the door. It's like, who cares? You know what I mean? It's like, who cares? We already did a far shot. I don't need a close shot right here within the first 5 photos. And guess what? They're not even getting to the good stuff because they already nixed out. They hate red doors or blue doors or whatever, right? Right. That's perfect. So I'm going to jump just for the people that are online. Thank you for sharing that, Elizabeth. So now what we're going to do is we're going to pick the comps that we want on this one. Okay. And we'll just use the example of the closed ones. I go back to it. And then we're going to show you how to put it on Cloud CMA. All right. So for this one, even though this is still in August, 1,075,000, I'm still going to include the comp. I'm going to show the active one here. I'm going to show the under contract. And then I'm looking more for dates here for more recent. So this is in August. That's at 985. Okay. 915. This is a new one. And we'll use these. So now what I do is I'll do a 1-line CMA report. It says use selected, use all results, and I hit 1-line CMA and I print this out. So when I go to my listing presentation, it's not all the photos. It's a black and white CMA report. And this is where I want them focused. Remember, they will focus on what you have them focus on. And if you start getting into all the photos and comparing and showing, if I need to, we'll get there. But if they're already good off of this and we're good off of, and I'll typically try to have 3 solds. If there are 3 pendings, some markets, no actives, because the actives are just distractions because they had agents that didn't price it right or whatever the case is. Sure. Thank you, Leslie. So I'll print this out and this is going to be in my listing presentation package. I'm going to print one of these out. I'm going to bring other marketing things. So brochures that I've done, just listed postcards. I'm going to have that ready to go just so they see that nothing's discount with us, right? Then I'm going to put together this presentation, which I'm going to show you right now. And we'll go to the easiest one is Cloud CMA. So we already picked the ones we want. Then I hit CMA and I go down here to Cloud CMA. Thank you, Leslie. So on Cloud CMA, we'll do test client for Pepperwood. Okay, type the address in, and we got 2507 Pepperwood. So it starts popping up. Okay, let's see if it's supposed to be drive. And showing street, and it's not showing it. So normally the tax records pop up, 4-bedroom, 2-bath. Let's just say 2,100 square feet. Okay. And then the other comps are right here. They're already in there. So now I just hit fetch listings. So typically you type the address in, all the tax records populate and you're good to go. Now from here, this is Cloud CMA here. You see the property is right here where the house is. These are the comps and you can see the map in proximity. I can set a price if I want to. I believe you might be able to do some type of range on here too. But let's just say 1,020,000. Am I doing my numbers right? One more. That's 1,020,000, right? Okay. So then down here, and you don't have to do that, I'm going to hit customize report. So I'm including everything on here on the Cloud CMA report. Now I'll hit, you can add your agent resume. You want to take some time, if you haven't done this, and update your agent resume, create a resume. What are your credentials? What have you done? I also will typically, and I don't have it on here, but I'll do past clients. So recent sellers, recent buyers, and I'll put their name and their phone number on there. So, and I'll have that on here. You also want to link up if you have Zillow reviews. If you're not doing Zillow reviews, you have to do Zillow reviews. Zillow reviews are probably the most important reviews you can get. Realtor.com, you already get with Real Satisfied, already links up to that. But what's cool is you can go down here where it says client testimonials, you can add your reviews and tie it into your Zillow reviews. So now I'm just going to hit publish report, and then automatically it's going to populate my listing presentation. This could be something that if I have a tablet, I can go through and flip through it that way. I can email it over to them, and then I'll get a report that says they opened it and they looked at it. More times than not, I'm not going to send it. I want to show up with everything in person and have it all ready to go. But 9 times out of 10, I don't even flip a page in this listing presentation. It's just ready. So it's about being prepared. But what we teach in the listing presentation in terms of how your conversation goes, that's how you're going to get the listing. Okay. All right. So view PDF if you want to see what it looks like. Already prints this out. Comparative market analysis has your information on there. It has the client letter. Sorry, I'll do view live. Might be a little bit more interesting. But the PDF, I'm going to print it out. Okay. So on the live here, they can click on whatever they want to click on. So right here, you have your pricing, your comps. You can click on it. And what's awesome is you can click on the property, get all the photos, get everything on there. I believe it does update real time as well. So like if something's showing active and then it flips to under contract, you're already good to go. So once you print all this out, it should update everything for you. All right. And you have all your comps this way. Have any of you used Cloud CMA? Okay, really good way. At a minimum, have this as your listing presentation because it gives you all the other bubblegum stuff, you know, the things about yourself, about the company, about C21, about how to price a property right, talks about intelligent pricing, that slide. And JP, if you can email that over, I would love to share that with the office. I'm sure there's other agents that would like it too. If you can send that, because I really like the intelligent pricing sheet that you had there. And we should make that a part of our presentation for the company if you're good with that. You still there, JP? Yeah, probably not. All right. So let's go back to, all right. So that's it for that. Any questions with that? You guys got a pretty good, I mean, it's simple, right? Not a whole lot. Just run your search, do Cloud CMA, and you're good to go. Others like it, like Cloud CMA. So Cloud CMA, RPR, and then you run your regular search. Sit in terms of the comps. I didn't do the flex market summary report. How much time are we at? What are we at? We're almost wrapping it up here. Okay, we'll save that for another time for the flex market summary report. Any questions just in terms of comps, pricing, what to do, how to use these tools? Do you think you can figure it out? You guys, I know you're newer with the company, Randy. Is that pretty self-explanatory?
Yeah.
Cool. What were you gonna say?
Part of, on listing presentations, part of my number one thing that I let clients know is that pricing is counterintuitive, right? We have the whole thought process. I'm going to price it high because someone's going to give me that. They're going to come in, write me an offer. I'm going to negotiate down, right? But they don't understand, and we have to really understand. They don't understand that when we do that, people don't see their property. They don't come visit it, right? They don't get offers. What we have to do is price it smartly. And you're always better, as you say, always better to be just under the market to generate activity versus being over, because you don't generate counter offers, you generate no offers. So it's really important that we let them know it is counterintuitive. It is not, this is not the swap meet.
You're exactly right with the pricing, and you want to keep developing what you say when you're talking about that piece of it beforehand. And the more that you future pace them, the easier they're, as JP said, he's like, I have no issue with pricing. Now they're trying to get it under market value. Some of the other things I show, which is off the flex market summary report, I'll show 10 properties in a given price range between 900 and $1 million. And I'll show that only 2 went under contract. So I'm saying we got to be top 2 out of 10. So how do we become top 2 or top 1, right? We got to be priced the best. Our photos got to look the best. We need to stand out. Not every home that's listed is selling. All right. So important things to know, because this type of market is coming up, and this is what we need to be prepared for with longer days on market, more price reductions, more things that you're going to see. These trends are going to happen. Another tip that was thrown out there, this is back in 2018, that I thought was brilliant, when a lot of homes were just sitting on the market and there were more canceled, more expired. Do a reverse offer. Has anybody heard of that? Reverse offer is when people are interested, but they don't pull the trigger. You as a seller write the offer to the buyer.
Oh,
Serious. And they were actually putting deals together this way
interesting.
because the buyer wasn't pulling the trigger. They thought it was priced too high. They thought they were too far apart. And the seller made an offer to the buyer. So there's nothing that doesn't say that you can't do that. Okay. So it's just something to think about to try to get things rolling. Go ahead. For the one recently, I believe I have it set on the 6 months. I think so, but I really try to focus on the last 3 months because of how much it's changed. But it's such a roll of the dice of knowing where do you price that property. I know more than $1,050,000 is too high. And I know right under $1 million is the sweet spot for sure. But I also know based on the solar situation, if they end up at like 980, they're giving that house away based on the condition of the home and what it is. That's the hard part. So I want them to feel good. I want to feel good that I represented them properly. And that's what I'm trying to figure the right anchor. And it's probably $1,010,000 to $1,020,000 is my guess. And it'll be good to see how that all pans out. But I believe that house is going to sell itself because it's a beautiful home, so we'll see. And then worst case scenario in a couple weeks, if we have to drop it, we drop it, right? So just it may be a good, test for you as well, right? Any other questions or thoughts? Do you guys like the style of that in terms of the engagement and I'm trying to do some more technical things to make sure that we're all staying on the up and up, knowing what tools we have. Oh, cool. Any upcoming listings that we want to pitch? Upcoming listings, we need them. We need to get to work on upcoming listings. Yes, Elizabeth?
I do have one in Village at the Park, a condo, 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom.
Nice.
It's on the first floor.
Wow.
I know. I sold it to the family just a couple of years ago. They haven't done any updates, so I don't know the current condition. I'm going there tomorrow, but it's going to be about $575. These make great investment properties as well, but a first floor condo, not so bad.
That's awesome. That's really good. Thank you for sharing that. Any other listings?
Ours is going live tomorrow on Cyprian.
So Cyprian's going live tomorrow.
Live
That's awesome. JP, you got something for us?
Oh no, I was just gonna say thank you. It was great having to be able to sit in this meeting. I got an email from a Deanna. Is she out of your office?
Did you say Deanna?
Deanna, yeah, Deanna Martinez.
Yep, that's my sister-in-law. That's my sister.
Oh, okay, perfect. Okay.
Yep.
I'll go ahead and send that email out. I think she had asked for that pricing sheet, and also I'll email it to you, Brandon. If you need that information,
That'd be great, man.
Give it to your team or anything like that.
That's cool. No, thank you, JP. Appreciate what you shared. And the other thing that I do for the listing presentation, especially when the interest rates are where they're at, do a pricing sheet. So I would reach out to somebody like JP, reach out to him, say, hey, we're going to price it at $1,010,000. How much is the total cash to close? And what does the payment look like? And if you can give me 2 or 3 different scenarios, one with 20% down, one with minimal money down, especially if you're in an area that there's a lot of VA, so no money down VA, what do those payments look like? That'll also help. And I want that before I do my listing presentation, because it helps check the seller when they realize, okay, you're looking at a $6,000, $7,000 a month mortgage with $200,000 down. They're like, how can anybody do it? Right. So they start getting better on pricing as well.
And if you have those listings where they're looking to sell and buy up, I love to put plans together with them. We'll look at their net sheet, look at how much cash they're going to get to close, and we'll make a plan to help them with their up leg so that they don't sell their home and they're sitting there like saying, hey, you know what, but I have no idea what we can actually get out there in the market, or let's make them comfortable. Let's make them feel comfortable with once they close, they have an exact plan on what they do with that cash to close to buy their up leg. So if you guys have any questions, reach out to me, and thank you again, Brandon. So I got really lucky today and just kind of stumbled on this super cool meeting.
There you go. Well, thank you, brother. I appreciate it. All right. Any other properties that we want to pitch? Yes.
It's not a listing.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of a lead, I guess you can say. I listed a condo couple of months ago, and the day I put the sign up, the neighbor called me. He says, "Hey, what are you listing for?" I said, "Well, 385. So I'm thinking of selling mine." He says, "Great, let's do it. When you want me to come by?" He's like, "No, I'm an actual broker. I'm gonna list it myself." I'm like, "Okay, well, 385 is where I'm at." And sure enough, the next day he listed it for 365. Yeah, right next there, literally right next door, model match. It's like, "Ah, bastard."
Right.
Whatever. Well, he didn't sell it, you know. I sold mine for 385 and he couldn't sell it for 365. He took it off the market, put it for lease. Yesterday he called me, no, Friday he called me. He says, "Hey, Luis, I want to give you a shot." I said, "Okay, great, you know. I'll send you the listing agreement." He says, "No, bring me a buyer." You know, 365 in Santa Paula. In Santa Paula. It's in Santa Paula.
What's the
It's a
HOA?
325. He wants 360 now. So he's like, bring me a buyer 360. So if somebody has a buyer, I think I can do a dual commission. And if I can't get a dual commission, then I'm willing to hand over the lead for small referral.
So, okay, well, don't want to ruin that, but what I was gonna say is call them up and say, look, give me 30 days to market this property and see what I can generate for you. Even if I bring you a buyer, one opportunity, I may be able to bring you more than that. Give me 30 days to expose this on the MLS the right way, just like I sold the other one
Yeah.
for 20 more, right?
Yeah.
Give me 30 days. If I get it into escrow in 30 days, you got to extend it long enough so I can close the transaction.
And he will.
But that's all you got to do.
Yeah.
Speak with that conviction, you'll take the listing.
Oh, no, he's
Right.
sold.
He already
I sold-
called you,
I sold it for.
But he's also trying to dictate, bring me a buyer, then
Yeah.
we'll do it.
Which
And then
time
you
you're
flip
gonna-
it and you say, look, I can do that. I've already reached out. I already got somebody. But what, how do you know you're not leaving money on the table? Let me expose it for 30 days. And if nobody else comes in and it's only the one, again, I'm not trying to, Brittany's like, shut up already. I was gonna put this deal together and you're just freaking ruining it here.
No,
But anytime you have that opportunity, especially on a for sale by owner, I'm telling you, 30 days, take it. And I'm normally gonna say take a 6-month contract. I've done it. I've taken a FSBO 30 days. It took 14 days. Freddie Crosco sold it on day 14, but I was sweating because nothing was coming in.
Right.
And the place was rough.
Yeah.
But there was nothing else in Camarillo and I knew we were the lowest priced property. So tell them, give me 30 days. I guarantee I'm gonna get you an escrow. Yeah. Yes.
Somebody and say, here's the commission that I would charge if you listed with me.
Right.
And I sold the house next door for $20,000.
Absolutely.
It's not the commission.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a lot less on a $300,000 house.
For sure.
Just kind of talk to him like that and say, hey, listen, wouldn't it be nice for me to get you the money you were looking for, but actually, bring in a lot of buyers
well,
for.
he's a broker. So
Yeah.
he knows.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
There are some of the
They
hardest
know.
clients.
They are.
actually.
They are. That's a typical for sale by owner. It's, they don't want to pay commission. They know, they understand. Say, yeah, how'd that go for you last time? Right?
Yeah.
Zero, nothing. You got nothing.
Yeah.
And that's what I asked them. How many hits do you got on that? What do the offers look like? And I get them to, so what type of marketing did you do? What is it? How'd you expose the property? Well, why do you think mine sold for $20,000 more?
25.
$25,000 more? Yours was underpriced and you still didn't get any action. Why do you think that's the case? It's because people who are working, agents who are working with buyers aren't gonna take a chance on a FSBO when they know they got a guaranteed deal with a good listing agent like Luis on the other end that is gonna represent his clients, we're gonna represent ours, and we're all gonna be protected here. No, we're gonna take a chance on something that, even though it's underpriced, the math though, what she's talking about, that's also how I've closed on the for sale by owner. So I asked him what his price was. He said 515. I said, well, what if I list at 530, 5%? He's well, once I got him to agree to it, then he was trying to work me on commission. I said, nope, it's got to be 5%. I said, you're already at 515 and you're willing to pay 2%. So now it's an additional 3%, 5% in total. And I'm going to full expose it for 30 days. You got nothing to lose. And if you end up deciding to go, because he had one VA buyer offer already on the table, said, if you go with him, I don't get paid anything, but let me see what I can generate.
Right.
Let me create a multiple offer situation for you. So, well, my back's up against the wall. I'm in Europe right now. He's you know what, send it over. So cool, sent over the listing agreement. He signed it, got 30 days, started marketing it. We started going. And then 14 days later, we sold it. Even better than that, his nephew called and he's like, I already don't like you. Calls me starting with that. I was like, what? He's like, I don't like you. He's like, you're probably an asshole like my uncle. I was like, what? He's like, my uncle's an asshole, and you know, he had you represent him, so you must be one too. And I'm just like, where are you going with this, right? Like, you're calling me an asshole. Like, what's up? And I listed, he had Bridgeport Lane, it's Lakeside Village listing. He's like, well, if you could deal with him, and that guy's, you know what? You know what I mean? He's like, I know you can sell my house. He tried to sell it with some other agent for a period of time. It expired. We listed it, but I got him at the right price.
Right.
And then I brought my report card, which is just all my past sales. And the other people I competed against didn't do that. And I showed them, look, these are all the homes I sold. This is my list for sold price. This is my average days on market. Hand it. And I don't need to talk about myself. I just show it to them. These are the stats, you know? So that creates the value. It's just little tips and tricks like that. Any other? Yes, Lee, you?
I do have Sierra,
Awesome.
435,000, 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,000 square foot, 2005.
Congrats.
So
Madera, and that's out by Fresno area?
north of Fresno.
North of Fresno.
Yeah, Madera goes to Merced.
Okay,
goes to,
Merced.
Modesto.
Great.
How much is it?
435.
35. So I can talk today.
No, you're.
That's
Get used to that.
too much vodka before you came in today? I know, looks good. Yeah, that's great.
So the market is really hot at Fresno's. So I just got a phone call on Friday out of nowhere. They just called me.
Right.
They say, hey, I have a house. I need to sell. What's your commissions? I say, well, what's going on? Like, why you, because I talked to them forever for 2 hours, but they just want to say, what's your commissions? What's your commission? Like, I swear they asked me that 10 times. So I did not tell them my commission. I said, I need to know what's going on before I give you
Absolutely.
commissions. Talk. So they're going to sell that one. They're going to buy one in Fresno.
Good.
And then they refer me to their brother who's from here, buying a duplex there.
Right.
And they called me up and we went, they went to sell it and we're in escrows.
Wow.
And then the leasing agreement, one of the things that I didn't see the house, I don't know them, they called them, I talked to them. And the next day I sent my partner there and they signed the leasing agreement.
Good.
But before that, they were talking to another guys.
Right.
Everything was all settled. So I do have to lower my commission to match that,
Sure.
but.
Yeah.
But it was just how you present yourself. And I told them I can do what the other people cannot do. Everything they're gonna do, I'm gonna do it for you.
Good.
And they say, and then at the end of the day, I say, can I send my partner there to sign a leasing agreement?
Right.
Because they've been working with the other agent for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
They were waiting to sign and all that. I mean, I feel bad, but I don't, because the other people call me. I don't.
Those are the clients I just lost. Is it? Yeah. I lost those. So was you, Liu. You took it. Good job. We're training you too good over here. All right. Any other listings? Congrats on that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Any other listings? Yes, we got Jen over here.
Really pretty. They did a lot of work to it in the past 2 years since they purchased it. Has a whole new HVAC system, new flooring, updated bathrooms with both walk-in showers. So it's basically 2 primary suites. Has high vaulted ceilings with recessed lighting, and it backs up to the green belt, so you have a really nice view off the back. And it does have a 2-car garage.
Cool.
And indoor laundry, which is our big things for Leisure Village. So
Awesome.
yeah, that one just came on yesterday. It says back on the market if you see it online.
Right.
It's only because I had to put it on hold because there was a health concern for a minute and we had to put it on hold.
Cool.
And so when I put it on active, it showed up as back on the market. Yeah, unfortunately, which it wasn't. It was brand new.
Yeah. Well, congrats on that listing.
Thank
That's
you.
awesome. Any other listings? Got to make sure I pitch Madera because it's finally coming on. So Madera, what's the address again? 3420 Madera and Oxnard. That one's going to be at 650. We're actually just putting a new furnace in there right now. So kitchen looks really good. Yeah, and they redid the painting and everything up there. So yeah, so new furnace. That'll be ready to go by Thursday. And then we'll do open houses. What time are you going to do yours on Sunday? 12 to 3 on Sunday, and then I'll be there 1 to 4 on Saturday. So if you guys have anybody and you want to take in, it's about 1,100 square feet. It's priced well for the property. Yeah. What was that? 3420. Yep. Anybody online? Oh, it looks like Win. You got something, Win. Sorry, just seeing your hand on there. Go ahead and unmute yourself if you can, Win.
Yeah, Ronnie have the info. We're taking a new listing today. It's either today or tomorrow. So Ronnie have the info. Go ahead, Ronnie.
Okay, Randy. Mom's calling you out.
No, she just handed me this.
Let's go. She expects you to do a dance first, and then pitch the listing, bro.
Well, new listing, like my mom said, but gonna be priced at 2.399.
Wow.
Yes. 5 beds, six bath, well, five and a half bath. It's in Camarillo here in the Pinnacle.
Nice.
4,834 square feet.
Wow. Beautiful.
And yeah, HOA is 189.
Okay. Awesome. Sweet. Well, congrats on that. Congrats, Wen. That's an awesome listing. Any other listings that you have?
It has, yeah, I just want to add, it has swimming pool
Sure.
and a new added casitas with a bathroom.
Awesome.
The seller spent almost 400,000 for the past 2 years in upgrades on that one.
Beautiful. All
Okay.
right. Thank you, Wen, and thank you for joining us on here. Your son's
course.
doing awesome. No, he's doing great.
Mm.
Anybody else online that has something to pitch? Anybody else in here? All right, let's wrap up with the closing affirmations. Feel uncomfortable one last time before we wrap this up. Okay, we're gonna do closing affirmations. Thank you guys for hopping on. If you want to join us for it, we're gonna do it. Let me share screen. Let's just do it. We don't need music on it unless somebody wants to play their phone. Somebody want to play their phone? We're good? All right. We'll do it. You guys ready? All right. I succeed because I act on my goals. I'm an optimist. I like talking to new people. I know what is important to me. I remember people's names. I have a daily plan and I follow it. I'm passionate about real estate. I know consistency is my greatest tool. I like asking questions and listening. I enjoy reading to improve my sales skills. My thoughts lead my emotions, actions, and results. I focus on my dreams daily. My presentation is powerful and persuasive. I improve my skills daily. I'm happy. I love to prospect. I see my future and it is awesome. I love my life. I'm grateful and thankful. I control my thinking. I believe in me. I feel outstanding. I use my beliefs and optimism to succeed daily. I get things done. I provide excellent customer service. I drink water daily. I connect with people. People love me. I love others. I'm disciplined and accountable to my daily schedule. I prospect daily. I set appointments daily. I'm a master persuader. I achieve my goals. I'm a real estate rock star. I'm passionate about my life. I live every day with purpose. I'm confident in my sales skills. I know my destiny. I'm healthy and strong. I'm powerful. I'm unstoppable. I keep positive, productive thoughts. My mind is all time. Yes. Just the time.
That's your teeth. Oh my second, all those
Good morning.
guys.
How are you? Yes. Take this on. Yeah, I remember. I remember. Thank you guys all online. We're wrapping up now. It's just everybody's mingling. So appreciate you guys hopping on, and we'll see you on Friday for those of you that are doing Think and Grow Rich. You guys have a blessed day.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you guys.
Thank you, Brandon. Bye.
Thank you,
See
Win.
ya.
Thank you,
Bye.
Era.
Bye.